Welcome to TJ's podcast.
Hey. Hello. I am TJ. That's my buddy Riggins over there, my little buddy Riggins. We're smarter than everybody else in the world, and we're going to prove it in the next hour. Because we're going to talk so much crap about everybody else that the only thing you can come up with is that we're just smarter than everybody else.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, I didn't record ahead of time, Riggins. You can fade that.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Just fade. Here, there you go. Now just out there. Good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't have time to record yesterday to have it all done so we could leave early. I was going to do that yesterday, and then I ran out of time and dealing with my grass and the whole thing.
Sure. I was dealing with my grass yesterday too. It's a full-time job.
Mm-hmm. And they are they're putting a whole new surface on our road. So it's all new blacktop, and it's a small road anyway. But my son was going to work yesterday, and on the road on which we live, he had to sit stopped with they hold the stop sign up out there for 15 minutes.
Oh, gosh.
Because they're just, when you got a small road and then they got steamrollers and all of that stuff going. Mm-hmm. So I got stuck on that for a while. And then, I hate running errands, but I had to do that yesterday. So what I'm getting at is I apologize that we're having to be here now, talking for this hour.
It's okay.
That takes us about 30 minutes to record.
Yeah.
Or 45.
Yeah.
But what?
Feels a lot longer, though.
Yeah. Hey, are you going to Publix today? Since Rob told you those sandwiches were on sale?
No.
Okay. I guess I'll have to trek over there and look and see if they have something that I'm looking for.
What is it? What are you looking for?
It's so far out of my way.
Yeah.
What is it? A minute and a half from where we're sitting?
Maybe.
Something like that?
Yeah. They're great over there, though.
Yeah. So I guess this is it for the day.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us.
Doing the thing, as the thizzle, as the kids say, doing our thizzle. What are you doing this weekend, Riggins? You always ask what everybody else is doing, and I'm doing more. By the way, we talked about it on our regular old morning show. I'm doing more than just putting out fertilizer. I mean, that's what you said I was doing. I have a social life.
Oh, good for you.
So I'm going to a baseball game tonight.
Okay.
Then we'll do Small Town Adventures tomorrow. Then on Sunday, I think we're flying to Tampa for some reason. Then flying from Tampa to Spain.
Are you?
Yeah.
You should mention where you're going to do Small Town Adventures.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Small Town Adventures is when my wife, my little friend Jenny, and her handsome husband Michael and I go to a different town close to where we live, and we make videos and pictures and all of that for social media and say, this is what we're doing in this town and this is what they have, just featuring the town. But it's sometimes we know exactly where we're going, and then other times it's a last minute decision. So I tried to get my little friend Jenny and handsome husband Michael last night to let me video them doing the promo about, the thing.
It's a good idea.
Because I would have done it though in more of in jest of them, because they're not comfortable doing that kind of thing, and they wouldn't let me do it.
Oh, they wouldn't?
No.
Maybe I'll ask.
Jenny is really good friends. I mean, one of her best friends is the race car driver Casey Kane, and something was going. It was big in his life a couple years ago, and they were having a big celebration for him and all, but they couldn't be there, and so his girlfriend asked Jenny. She said, "Hey, people who can't be there are making videos for him, telling him congratulations. We're going to play it at the party and all that." And Jenny put it off so much that the girl had to keep calling. Hey, if you're going to do that, I need it by this day, because she didn't want to do it. So they came to our house and wanted me to help them with it. And it was just basically hey, Casey, wish we could and this and this. And you would have thought that I had just handed them a script to act out the first scene in Schindler's List. I mean, they were, and then Jody kept laughing at them. I mean, she was just like, she had to go into the pantry because they were sitting at the counter, the bar in the kitchen, and Jody was in the pantry, like trying to mute her laughter, but she wasn't doing a good job of it.
That's not helpful.
No.
Somebody's laughing at you and you're trying to do something you're uncomfortable with.
It was hilarious because it was so awkward for him.
Did you give him any funny lines to do, or is it pretty straightforward?
I ended up narrating it as the camera person.
Oh, that's good. That was smart. That's funny though.
Yeah, so they wouldn't do that last night.
Okay.
I didn't mean to go off on that tangent when you said that you should promote where you're going to be, but I think we're going to Elkin, North Carolina.
Elkin.
Yeah.
Some of these places, I've lived in North Carolina my whole life. I go, where in the hell is that?
It is.
I don't even know.
It is.
Elkin. I thought Elkin was in South Carolina.
No. You know where we got the tulips? We went to the tulip farm.
Yeah.
It's not far from there, which is north of here.
That was Harmony.
Harmony is close to Elkin.
Okay.
Not far from it.
In the sticks.
Yeah.
Out in the sticks.
But they have, when we were in Harmony doing the tulip farm thing, as jealous as I know all the other men were watching that, we just drove up. We went to a winery and all that, and then we drove into Elkin just to see what it looked like, if it had potential for a small town adventure. And it's a quaint little downtown area, so
Cool.
that's why we're going.
One thing you can help me out with is if you know a time when you might send the first video, that would be super helpful, because what I find myself doing is I go out in the morning, I wake up super early and I walk the dog and I cut the grass, have breakfast, and I'm like, oh, I want to take a nap now, but I don't want to miss the first. So sometimes it's like around 2:30, but if it's like 1 o'clock.
Well, I used to do the first video from Jenny and Michael's house.
Yeah.
And we always meet at their house at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
But since we're doing more pictures now than videos, I've been waiting until we get to the first place and then doing that. So
that does seem to work.
Yeah. So look for it around 2.
Okay.
To be a good average. The first one would be around 2.
Yeah.
So sleep your ass off. That's what you can do. Sleep your ass off. All right. Well, let's get to the stuff we're supposed to be talking about. There is a new thing that feminists are using, and it's called man-slamming. Now, you would think that feminists are always slamming men, meaning verbally slamming men, criticizing and whatnot. But this is physically slamming men, like when you're walking past a man on the sidewalk. Don't step aside or move at all so you can both pass easily and all. Actually slam into him, because why should you have to move?
Yeah, right.
So this is audio of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Normalize not moving out of the way for men that's coming towards you on the sidewalk. Why do I have to move?
Been doing the not moving for men experiment, and let me tell you, they don't move. I have crashed into so many men. I would like to compare women's experiences not moving for men. Tell me, have you ever tried to not move out of the way for men?
So it's a trend now. They're saying this is what women need to be doing.
Yeah.
First of all, here's the thing about feminism. Not the thing, but one of the things. They have these rules about men this and men that and men this and that, until it's convenient for them. For example, I don't need a man paying for me and da da da. And then you go out on a date and then they go on to the social medias complaining because he didn't take them to a nice enough restaurant. Like he should be spending more on me, or even coming up with a man should buy my food and drinks because that is it's because I am doing him the favor of and for all of the privilege that men have, this is just one thing that we get, you know. So this is one of those things. I truly believe that if you're passing a woman on the sidewalk and it's not wide enough for both of you to walk straight without bumping into each other, the man should move over and then let her walk. She shouldn't have to move. He should be doing that. But if they're true feminists, they wouldn't want a man, you know, they don't want him holding the door for you and all that kind of stuff. So I say just check them like, you know, like hockey players do.
Just full body check. Everyone's sharing their story now because that was the prompt. And they were like, I had to stop doing it because I ran into 3 guys today and none of them moved. But I agree with you. I think if you're a guy and they should each move. You should each make consideration because you're a human and that's the right thing to do. You each make way for each other. But if that's true, I can't imagine that guys are just like, I don't see you. I'm walking right through you. That's crazy.
But I would probably do it for anybody else.
Of course.
It doesn't even have to just be a woman. It could be, you know, another guy or an old person.
It's called being considerate.
Just make the effort. Because you and I are good people, Riggins. Maybe. So many other people are just rotten. We're smarter and better than average people.
Yeah, it's called consideration. Mm-hmm. You know,
But you know what's going to happen now is that this thing gets big enough, gets popular enough, men are going to start purposely not moving.
Really?
Yeah. And then they're going to really end up slamming into each other.
Yeah. Yeah, one woman said that's happened. She was like, we just full on, straight on walked into each other. That's crazy. You're going to get hurt.
But is that so, have we gotten to that point where people are so socially inept that you have to have a conversation all over the world about sidewalk etiquette?
Unfortunately, yeah. Yeah. I was talking to my dad the other day. He goes, you got to realize, like, most people in at work or in real life have no idea what they're doing. Most people are not as plugged in as you or I would be. Most people. And social media has brought those people to the forefront. You see everybody now.
Yeah. And I've been telling y'all that for years. That, you know, just like I said, everybody's weird but I. You know, and that's basically what your dad is saying. Every other person on earth is weird but TJ.
It's just crazy.
That's what he's saying. All right. We have some more Graham Slam coming up, as well as we got to get to some stupid celebrity stuff. The Swifties are upset, but not at anything that I've said or anything. I'm not important enough for the Swifties to be mad at me. So we'll get into all that coming up next.
TJ's Podcast.
Our friend, the world famous Richard Toccato is here with us. And thank you so much for reaching out to Richard. He's telling us all the time about how many listeners are reaching out and saying, hey, show me about that refi, and let's do some stuff like that. That's the way he put it, though. Show me about that refi.
Show me about that refi. What you got about that refi? So the cool thing is what Ace has said, we have a lot of options, and we have I'm doing refinances for people. We have people down in Greenville, North Carolina. We have them all at the beach at South Carolina. We have them in Charlotte. And the main thing is to refinance, make their finances better, take the stress of every month. If I save them $700 a month, $800 a month, it's a big deal for them.
Yeah, it's a real big deal. $700 a month. That's fantastic. And again, we've talked about this before. Richard's a broker. That's how he gets more options than a bank. He can do more. Just go to homewithrichard.com to get started. Homewithrichard.com, the Richard Toccato Companies. Hey, it's Ace, and for a long time, we've told you about Neogenics, Charlotte's most trusted stem cell clinic, and how phenomenal a job they did helping me with my left wrist. Well, this is Neil. Neil Simler is a member of the Ace and TJ Radio family. Neil, you took the free consultation to have them check out your elbow and talk about what happened just when you went for the free consultation.
They were very straightforward and let me know that they weren't going to treat any of my ailments if they weren't 100% sure that they were going to be able to effectively help my issue, and once were they pushy with trying to get me to spend more money and do the higher end shots.
Now 3 months later, how do you feel?
I'm 95% better, if not 100%. It's just been one of the best decisions I've made. Do yourself a favor, get out there as soon as possible.
Set up your free consultation today at acetj.com/neogenics. It's Neogenix. Neogenics, Charlotte's most trusted stem cell clinic.
They say there are only two things certain in life: sweet deals at Sweet Dreams and taxes.
And only one of those is certain this month.
Which one?
The sweet deals at Sweet Dreams.
What about the taxes?
No sales tax the entire month of April at Sweet Dreams.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And don't call me Shirley.
Love where you live, Lake Norman, and pay no sales tax during the month of April. Only at Sweet Dreams Furniture and Mattress.
Back to TJ's podcast.
Yep. With my buddy Riggins. Riggins on the ones and twos over there, mixing it and scratching it. But don't scratch it no more. We're back on TV.
Yeah.
He's scratching it. Riggins, I don't know if you thought that what you had imagined my reaction being to the video that you said was precious.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I figured you would be snarky about it.
Okay. Well,
it's stupid.
Let's just play the audio of it, and then we'll see, and let the fanaticos predict what I'm going to say about it, how I'm going to come down on this issue. Did you get the audio Rob sent? Where he jacked up the volume on it because it was recorded at a low volume.
Hey, I was in the.
Sorry.
So it's a girl, and she's lying on her side. It looks like in bed. She's not naked or anything, and she's got her phone right in her face, and she's kind of whispering what she had witnessed.
Hey, I was in the drive-thru, and the girl taking my credit card had the sickest denim jacket on, and it had a little cowboy boot patch. And I was like, I love your jacket. And she said, thank you. It's my grandma's. And I said, oh my God, that makes it even better. And she said, I know. She passed away, but her cough drops are still in the pocket. And I said, you better leave them there forever.
She said, it's my grandma. She passed away, and her cough drops are still in the pocket.
You better
keep it forever.
I thought that was really sweet.
Yeah, well,
funny. She told that story pretty funny.
But here's the thing. I absolutely love that. I think,
good.
Yeah, I loved it too. I thought that was great.
You better keep those.
She's funny because that cry wasn't real.
Yeah.
You
right.
know, she was just,
That was funny.
keep that forever.
That is really sweet.
Oh,
Her
man.
cough drops are in the pocket.
And if I'm in drive-through, the first thing I would think, being a cynical person, is, why are you wearing a denim jacket with your uniform?
Yeah. Yeah, right.
You're not supposed to do that. But if that Same thing happened the same way with me driving through fast food. I'd probably be really tearing up leaving. I mean, I would. I might even have to wipe a tear.
Yeah. When you stumble onto a situation like that, it's even more like, oh, it kind of catches you off guard. You're like, oh, well, actually, it's my grandmother's. She passed away and her cough dropped. You go, oh my gosh. It just kind of catches you off guard when you're not expecting, especially in a drive-through line. I get her reaction to it.
Because that is something that all grandmas have to have, whether they use them or not. But just by crossing over into the grandmother stage, you've got to have cough drops.
I think so.
Somewhere.
It's a staple.
Yeah.
Wallet, keys, cough drops.
Juicy fruit or double mint gum.
Sure. Yeah, I thought that was really sweet. I have something kind of the same. So we had a cookie jar growing up, and we had put Oreos in it or whatever. And I took it when I went to college for my dorm room. My mom was like, "Oh, you put it on your desk or something, it'll remind you of home." And so it hasn't had cookies in it since probably 2000, maybe the year 2005.
Yeah.
But if you take the lid off and you put your head in it, it still smells like cookies. So that's like my great trick. Whenever my brother comes over my deck, I go, smell it. And that the sense of smell just kind of triggers something. You're like, oh my God, I remember that. So kind of the same.
Mm-hmm. You would have been boo-hooing, though, leaving there.
Oh my God.
If that happened to you.
So sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love a good sweet moment.
But, I mean, what if her grandmother was a real bitch?
Well, it's true.
She just said it was my grandma's. She didn't say my grandma was a good person or she was so sweet. She was just she could have been like, this is my bitch ass grandmother's jacket. It's the only good thing I ever got out of her.
Yeah.
And still got her disgusting cough drops.
She's like, is there anything on the back? And she goes, actually, yes. And there's a big swastika on the back. Like, oh! No! Yeah, she was a Nazi. That'd be terrible.
Mm-hmm. It's just like when somebody tells you look like a celebrity. That's not necessarily a compliment.
Yeah.
You know, the celebrity could be somebody who's known for being ugly, getting parts because they're so ugly.
Sure. It's not always a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Like, I told a girl one time that she looked like Steve Buscemi, and she got all pissed off.
It's a bad angle for him. He can look handsome.
But, you know, he's made a career out of that.
Absolutely.
With the way he's a good actor too, though.
He's a great actor.
Yeah,
Did you ever
I love
watch
him.
Boardwalk?
No.
That was a good one.
What was that about?
The Boardwalk. Atlantic City in like the 20s and 30s.
Oh, it's a
Gangsters
period piece.
Yeah. Oh, it was good. Real good.
Was there any killing?
All killing. It was on HBO. I think it was on Max or Showtime. I forget. It was awesome.
You know what? Those British shows that people are starting to like on Netflix and all, like the British crime shows and things, not documentaries, but like fiction.
Okay.
You know, that people are starting to like those. And they're all right, but their cops don't seem tough like American cops in shows, you know? So if there's killing, it's not as graphic in a lot of them, like that Fool Me Once show with the Brits did that one. And the cops, you know, they don't even carry guns.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I told Jody, I was like, hey, I told my wife, this is a good show, but there's not enough, you know, realistic violence.
I don't know if...
She goes, you are sick. But
need a little meat on the bone. A little grit.
Yeah, there's no grit to it.
Yeah, I get that.
But that movie you say, there's grit to that? That Steve Buscemi movie?
It was a series. It was a show.
What channel was it on?
I think Showtime or Max.
Oh.
Rob, did you watch Boardwalk? No. Oh, great. He plays a gangster in it, and it's just killing and violent, and then Al Capone shows up.
Like
eventually.
Bloods, Crips? Which one was he?
No, it was like, you know, mobsters, gangsters.
Okay.
It was so good.
Bless it. But anyway, yeah, the girl with the jacket, that's cool unless her grandmother was a bad person.
Yeah.
A lot of them are.
Sure, just because they're old doesn't mean they're automatically super sweet.
Right.
But a lot of people do like old people.
Yeah, I liked the old people from my day. When I was young, old people then were different than they are now.
You like everything that was in your day.
No, there are a lot of things I like better.
Like what?
I like the some of the technological advances and things like that. From my day, which was, the 80s, the thing that I miss most about that era is people who are actually enthusiastic and proud of being Americans. Because Ronald Reagan brought that. I mean, everything he did was, America's the greatest, and it needs to be lifted up and all of that. That and the brightly colored clothes. I love that.
Neon.
Okay, what is it that you're asking about John Bon Jovi?
Yeah, so there's this new they call it a rockumentary.
Oh, yeah.
A rocu-series, which looks really good. I saw I don't know anything about Bon Jovi. I know a couple of their songs, but I was never like a Bon Jovi person. But there's this new series out, 4 parts. Each of them is an hour long. They said it gets really into details. They said the first episode is the best one. It's out today. And, Bon Jovi's John has been doing the media rounds promoting this thing. I think it's on Hulu. And he was talking about his wife, and that's the big headline that's on all the websites now, is that he's been in this long-term marriage, and he said every day is a challenge. And I thought, that doesn't come off, I don't know, if I'm your spouse, I'm like, every day is a challenge?
Maybe he was making reference to the fact that every day is a challenge on his part, to be what he needs to be as a husband.
Maybe, because he does go into detail. He goes, the quote was, "I haven't been a saint in our marriage," and then he says, it's a challenge every day.
But people who do say that about marriage, you're right. That sounds terrible. It's not a struggle every day. It's not a challenge every day. Now, you do have things that you have to work on, and things that you need to be aware of, and all that. But it's not a challenge if you're, in a marriage where you love each other and all.
I'd be pissed reading that.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, yeah, and you're right. You haven't been a saint. So why would you not take that opportunity to be like, you know what, we've been married a long time, and we love each other so much, we'll get through the trials and the tribulations. But I would not say it like every day's a challenge, or it's a challenge every day. Screw you.
It's such a laborious task.
Yeah.
To wake up and be her husband every day.
Yeah. Unlike the Today Show. It's not like it's some goofy rock magazine. You're in the Today Show that all women watch, and you're talking about how much of it's challenges.
Was she there on the show with him?
I don't think so.
Okay. So I was just wondering if it was awkward, like when Mike Tyson was married to Robin Givens, and then she's on 2020 or whatever, they're doing the interview, and he's sitting there on the couch, and she starts talking about how terrible he is at times, and I think she was even describing his being abusive to her and all, and he's just sitting there. So it was awkward. So at least it wasn't one of them. And benefit of the doubt, let's say he was talking about it's a challenge to be good enough and to make sure he's doing the right thing. Yeah. Because he's got the devil in him or something.
The devil's running through my body every day, and I got to fight him off.
But it could just be that thing that we always talk about with celebrities, that they're just so dramatic.
It's dramatic.
They just wear you out.
Yeah.
So, speaking of dramatic celebrities, Taylor Swift's fans, the little Swifties, have gotten upset at a fellow musician for something that he said about Taylor Swift. And we'll break all of that down for you coming up next.
More of TJ's podcast is coming up.
When it comes to losing weight, sometimes you don't even know where to start. You know that it needs to happen, but you need some help. Well, you start by going to acetj.com/weight loss and ordering Calitrin. Calitrin is scientifically proven to help you lose weight, and it is not a drug. It is not a drug. Repeat that. So here's what you do. You go to acetj.com/Calitrin, order 3 months, and then you'll get 3 months free. 4 months free. That's how it works with Calitrin.
Winter is here, which means you're just going to stay inside and not do anything fun and exciting, right? No, that is wrong, because this year you're going to go to acetj.com/Gaston and see all of the incredible things that you can do right now in Gaston County. Everything is laid out for you, from things to do, to restaurants, to bars, to shopping, to unique weekend activities. And we'll get you ready for the spring and the summer with a list of all their great festivals. Find all of this and much more at acetj.com/Gaston.
If you're so frustrated because you're having to run around all the time, you're so busy, you feel like you're not getting your family something great to eat, then you need Culver's. It's the perfect thing for you. Always made to order, fresh, hot ingredients all day, every day.
And not only do they have the freshest ingredients all day, every day, but they are a part of the community. They're proud to be a part of the Indian Trail community, where they're under new ownership. Belmont, University area, Salisbury. Make them a part of your daily routine. Make it your new neighborhood spot. Short waits for the freshest food in town. Get details at acetj.com/Culver's.
Welcome back, world, to TJ's podcast.
So, I didn't show you this, Riggins. I'm sorry. I know we're supposed to be talking about the Swifties, and we'll get to it. But I have this room that I use for a lot of things. I don't like the term man cave, but that's, if somebody did like using that word, that's what this would be. That's how you would describe my room. It's my TV watching room. It's my nap taking room, and it's also my home studio room when I record podcasts and stuff from home. And I call it the puffy couch room, because there's a what I call a puffy couch, because it's all puffy, and it's two recliners hooked together, but with a little console thing in between that has cup holders and things like that. My wife says it's hideous. Well, for some reason, one side of it is starting to show some wear, and possibly even have some structural damage from somebody using it all the time.
Right.
And I need a new soon. I'm going to need a new couch for in there, and this is the one I want. Can you see that? It's a gorilla couch. It's a couch shaped like a giant gorilla.
What a stupid couch.
Can you see it on the video?
I can't tell.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can. It's a huge, like King Kong.
And they make bunches of, they have different gorilla designs. They have ones that are just a big single person chair. They have a love seat. They have a full couch. It's just crazy.
That is crazy.
I love it. So if you're not watching the video portion of the show, or you couldn't see it on the camera just now, just Google gorilla couch. Gorilla sofas is what you should Google. I love it.
I bet they're really well made too. They'll hold up.
I didn't even look at the prices though.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
probably ridiculous.
So one of the new albums that's out this week is a new album from the Pet Shop Boys. I'm sorry, Pet Shop Boys, not the Pet Shop Boys. And they had a couple of American hits in the 80s. One was, their biggest hit was West End Girls. It's kind of like a techno sounding song. I like it. And then let me see, they had their other song that they had that was a hit. It wasn't quite as big of a hit in US America, but I loved it. I liked it even more than West End Girls. But It's a Sin is what it was called. It's a Sin. Then they had another, I forgot about this one. They had another one called, it goes, what have I done to deserve this? Now, I used to, I didn't like any of those British 80s bands and stuff, those British pop bands. I didn't like any of that, except for those guys. I liked them.
Really?
Mm-hmm. But one of them was giving his critique of Taylor Swift's music. And all he said was that he doesn't see how she's on par with somebody like Michael Jackson. Not because of the way she looks or anything like that, but mainly because of the music. And not the lyrics, but the instrumentation, the melody, I mean, all of that stuff. And he was on a panel at some kind of a conference. He said, Taylor Swift sort of fascinates me as a phenomenon because she's so popular. And I sort of quite like the whole thing. But then when I listen to the records, for a phenomenon as big, where are the famous songs? What's Taylor Swift's Billie Jean? So I listened to that the other day, and it's not Billie Jean. So what he's saying is that she has the popularity and the emotional attachment from millions and billions of fans around the world, but her music doesn't fit her popularity. Meaning,
whatever that means.
Well, it means that Michael Jackson was that popular, Elvis was that popular, but their music was deserving of that more so than Taylor Swift. He's like, Taylor Swift's music doesn't measure up to other people that have had her level of popularity. And you disagree with that, Regan?
Yeah. I mean, you can say that, but say, if you can fill up stadiums around the world, you're clearly popular. And if you want to, who's compared her to Michael Jackson? No one was doing that. But
well, they may have been at this conference that he was on the panel of. Somebody may have brought that up. But
I'm not Michael Jackson. I'm not saying I am. I'm not trying to compare myself.
But as far as the fan reaction to her, she is close to Michael Jackson.
Then their reaction to her songs make it equally or more important than Billie Jean. If you watch the videos from those shows, and I've never been to one, but I've seen enough videos to speak about it, there is a energy about their excitement that has not been duplicated probably in their whole life. Obviously, they're young women, so whatever it's doing, it's resonating with them. And yeah, they would probably say, I'd much rather hear this than Billie Jean or whatever you can compare it to. It means something to them. So
right.
to discount the popularity, it's like, well, to you.
Yeah, because he's a trained musician. I think he's speaking from a trained musician's perspective.
She's not?
Yeah, she is, but he's only, because he says she's got a great voice and the production is beautiful, but melodically it's almost restive. It's all sung on one or two notes going up and down. So he's saying the complexity of her music is not on par with the complexity of Michael Jackson's music.
And maybe it's not.
And that's all he was saying. But he likes her and he's glad that she's so popular and all of that. But you can't say anything negative about her without her cult-like fans getting all upset and then attacking.
Well, they're not even freaking out about it because they don't know who the Pet Shop Boys are.
Yeah.
The thing is that gets picked up in every article, and it's kind of like, oh yes, we got something negative to run because, she's on top of the world, she's selling out places, so it's fun to kind of poke holes in the.
Well, see, this came from People Magazine, and The Guardian. So I would think that they're doing that to put a target on him. Like Taylor Swift, like we talked about yesterday, she's bulletproof to the media, and people who promote singers and artists and all of that stuff. the only people that would be complaining about Taylor Swift in the media would be people who are just, they're rock critics and things like that.
Well, CNN's got an article out today. It's like, is Taylor Swift overrated? And I thought, oh, that's a big.
Well, and it could be the same thing.
Statement.
It could be that somebody else said that, and some music person said that, and they're trying to, listen, people know in the media what happens when somebody says something negative about Taylor Swift or Beyonce, that their fans go after them. And Taylor Swift uses that to her advantage. Like, she uses them as, like a hitman. Like that whole thing, like we've talked about with Scooter Braun and all of that. I mean, she basically sicked her fans on him, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, but I'm saying the media knows what happens. But CNN would never just come out and expose something about Taylor Swift. What is it? Are they saying
It's the title of the article, and it's good to get headlines. I mean, it's a good headline. I just don't get Taylor Swift, and it's like this whole, and they even put like this preface, like, disclaimer: I do not dislike her. I wish her all the happiness and success in the world. Please, I have a family. In parentheses, before they get into their thing, which is so funny.
Is it a critic though that's just giving a review?
It's sort of a wide-reaching, takedown.
Yeah.
Which is,
it's gonna happen to everybody.
It'll happen to everyone. You're the biggest thing in the world. It's inevitable. People are gonna be like, "Well, I don't like it," because that gets far more clicks than something that was like, "It's actually a great album," or "This show is great." The negativity will rise to the surface.
Yeah, and again, I'm not a fan of Taylor Swift's for political reasons, and I don't dislike her music, but to me, it's it's what pop music should be. It doesn't have to be important, I do think that some of her songs now, she's a little old to be singing from that perspective of a younger person, like a teenager. But as far as somebody that young people could follow and like, she's a way, way better influence than most other musicians, especially for girls.
Absolutely. For young girls.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
Like I would much rather, when my daughter was young, for her to be a Taylor Swift fan and want to be like Taylor Swift than Megan Thee Stallion.
And you can literally pick out any of them. You're like, oh, no.
And all they're talking about is how they're, getting it.
Yeah. I get that. I get that. So I treat her in that for that exact same reason, with a little more respect or whatever it is. Like, I just look at her a little bit differently.
Yeah. But then I would be there, if my daughter started falling in with some of Taylor Swift's political things, I would be there to stop that. Just like I always was with the public school system. I was always there to deprogram them from what they learned in the public schools, all that Marxism and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, my kids used to love it when we'd go for orientation and all that, and I'd ask them what they were going to be teaching about, global warming, and I said, I know they got to tell you, what the answers are that you're looking for, that the state's looking for, but I just need to know when I got to deprogram them when they get home.
Like a nuclear waste victim.
Yeah, one of the proudest moments as a parent I ever had was my son was about first grade. Came in from school and he was mad. He goes, Dad, look what I had to do at school today. And he slammed this paper down on the kitchen counter. And he had to paint or color a big, picture of the globe and then put a Band-Aid on it. And he knew that was wrong.
Put a Band-Aid on it?
Yeah, because the earth needs healing, Riggins. It's destroying it. It's hurting. Put a Band-Aid on the earth's boo-boo.
So stupid.
All right, so that is it. Riggins, you can start your weekend, go get your submarine sandwich, whatever you're going to do. And then I'm going to go spread fertilizer.
Yeah, good for you.
Mm-hmm. How long does that take?
Oh, wow, you got a seeder, a spreader?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
You got a big yard.
I am a spreader.
Please. Seed spreader at that.
All right. Thanks for watching and listening. Tell your friends. You go fill out the little survey at acetj.com/Fanatico to become an official TJ Fanatico. And we'll be talking to you tomorrow from Small Town Adventures on our social medias. Love you. Bye.
Serving the world. It's TJ's podcast.